Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic non-classics. This is episode 43, and Doubleshot number 13 or 37. I had the first two trades to collect Jeff Loeb's run for Hulk, the run that lasted from 2008 to 2010. First, let's talk about the very first trade, which here it is. Hulk Volume 1, Red Hulk. Yep, first appearance, this guy right here, Red Hulk. Where for a period of 2 years, this was a plot thread that lasted for this long. Where they asked the question, who is the Red Hulk? Well, people nowadays know who the heck the Red Hulk is. I'm not going to spoil it here until a little bit later. Although I do have the whole entire arc, the whole run for this thing. Yep, this collects the first 6 issues of Hulk Volume 2, and a backup story from Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 50. Yep, it's basically just a retelling of the original Wolverine, first time that Wolverine first spots the Hulk. Yep. So this book starts off with She-Hulk and Doc Samson. Everybody thinking, that's strange. For a book called Hulk, and you start off with the Hulk's cousin and one of his closest friends, Doc Samson? Yeah, that's what with. The reason that they're here because they're basically at a crime scene. Somebody's been murdered. Who's been murdered? The Abomination. Yep, in the very first issue of this particular run, the Abomination gets killed off in the most bizarre way possible. Like, everyone knows the Abomination is one of Hulk's longest running enemies, and at the time, prior to this, basically prior to revealing another character who she really is, he was responsible, indirectly responsible for the death of Betty Ross. This was later retconned. This was later retconned a little bit later. So, and of course, he's one of his longest running enemies. And She-Hulk and Doc Samson are here with Maria Hill and Iron Man. This, of course, is right after the events of the awesome World War Hulk storyline, which a lot of people basically love this story. I do agree it's a fantastic crossover. The problem is, not many consequences afterwards. Nope, it's usually the bad ones. Yeah, the consequences were very minor at best. I mean, well, there's consequences for the Hulk, but not much else. So, yeah, how in the world did Abomination die? Well, he got in a fight with some big creature, possibly a Hulk, and then he gets killed. Like, how he dies, apparently he gets shot to death like about 6 times. I'm like, and you're probably thinking, why the heck would the Hulk use a gun? That makes no frickin' sense. They'll find the guns a little bit later. Oh, and by the way, where the heck is Bruce Banner in all this? Is he responsible for the Abomination's death? No, it's actually somebody else. It is a different Hulk. And then in issue 2, we have Rick Jones show up. Yes, Rick Jones. Remember him? He, of course, is attacked by the Red Hulk, and he's transformed into A-Bomb. Yep, A-Bomb. Oh, and here's a fun little factoid about A-Bomb. Unlike with Abomination, which he cannot go back to its human form, A-Bomb can. Yep, he can. And he proceeds to fight the Red Hulk. Oh yeah, and by the way, during this course of the issue where they find out the death of the Abomination, we have the Winter Guard show up. Yes, the Winter Guard. If you don't know who these guys are, they are Russia's Avengers. That is simply what they are. And their people they have here are Darkstar, Red Guardian, and the Grizzly. No, it's not the Grizzly. It's they call him the Grizzly Bear, but it's somebody else. I think it's Major Oogt, I think his name is. And well, you have Iron Man talking to... Oh yeah, also Crimson Dynamo's here as well. Yes, of course, the Crimson Dynamo's here, because him and Iron Man are old enemies. This, of course, is not the original Crimson Dynamo. This is the most recent Crimson Dynamo at this point. I don't remember who's under the mask, but under the helmet, but it's not the original one. The original's been dead for years. He died back his debut. He died after 2 appearances in the comics. Yeah, he appeared twice. And in the first appearance, he basically turned on the Russians and basically defected. Until he was killed by the Black Widow. For daring to betray Mother Russia. Yep, and they have a disagreement over jurisdiction over Emil Blonsky because he was apparently he has no problem with Iron Man being here investigating this because he's director of S.H.I.E.L.D, but he has a problem with Samson and Doc Samson and She-Hulk. Well, in case you forgot Winter Guard, and of course She-Hulk points out, though, I thought Darkstar and Red Guardian were dead. And Iron points out, though, perhaps you should read the S.H.I.E.L.D. files. They were replaced. And then they have a brief fight, and then, of course, they're told to stop because they find out it's actually a Red Hulk. And then they have General Ross. Yes, General Ross is here. Where he and Iron Man go to visit Bruce Banner. Now, you're probably thinking, where the heck is Bruce Banner? He is kept in a base where he's surrounded by robots with the face of Betty Ross. Yeah, that's seriously where he is. I think he's supposed to be in Shadow Base, if I'm not mistaken. Why is he here? The events of World War Hulk, which they don't really bring up here at all. No, but he has a good reason to be here. And then about halfway through the storyline, he does get out and does fight the Red Hulk. Though Red Hulk himself later on basically decides to get into a fight with frickin' Thor of all people. Yes, he fights Thor, and also he fights Iron Man. Oh yeah, he'll take the time to go to the moon and beat the crap out of the Watcher. You're probably thinking, really? He jumps all the way to the moon just to beat the... Actually, the Watcher came to Earth. And then he has the most dumbest line. Oh, what of you? Watcher's a freaking guy. Why the heck would he say that? Because he's wearing a toga? Is that the reason why? He punches the Watch right in the face, and he continues beating on him until Hulk's like, stop hitting Hulk's friend. Hulk is strongest there is. He's like, and of course, here's the thing. Red Hulk talks normally. He doesn't talk like the Hulk does. And they fight constantly throughout these 3 issues. Also, Red Hulk wipes the floor with Red She-Hulk. Yeah, but also, they had this funny bit where he basically is fighting Thor, and then he takes Thor's hammer, throws it with him, and drops Thor at the moon, and throws the Mjolnir off someplace. And then basically Thor gets angry. And then during the course of Thor, then we have the 2 Hulks fighting. And then Thor shows back up, continues to beat the crap out of Red Hulk. By the way, at this point in time, Thor had just come back to life. He came back the previous year in the pages of his own. Actually came back thanks to Civil War. And then he got his own solo book by JMS. Then the court suspect they think they defeated Red Hulk, but nope, he gets away. Excuse me. Of course, this is really, really good. Love it. My pastor, because he's a comic fan too, he described this as a hidden gem. No denying that. It's drawn by Ed McGuinness. This book is fantastic. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It's so awesome. This book is. And then we get a bit of a step down with the next book. Hulk Volume 2, Red vs. Green. Red and Green. This collects Hulk Volume 2, issue 79, and King Size Hulk. Now, Jeff Loeb, of course, writes everything in here, but you have 2 different stories here. For these 3 issues only, we have one set of stories for Red She-Hulk. Not Red She-Hulk. She actually drops it later. I don't know why I mentioned it. Red Hulk, and then one for Green Hulk. We start with Green Hulk first, so apparently Green Hulk has gone back to Joe Fix-It. Yeah, something he assumed back in the 80s. During Peter David's run, and he ends up getting a fight with, of all people, the Sentry and the Carol Danvers Miss Marvel. And at one point, he's nearly strangling Carol Danvers, and he switches back to regular Hulk. And this only lasts just these few issues. The Red Hulk one is quite interesting. After She-Hulk got tired of basically getting the floor wiped to her by Red Hulk, she's like, screw this, I'm reforming the Lady Liberators. Yes, the Lady Liberators. If you don't know what the heck the Lady Liberators are, they are a group of female superheroes. Oh, and by the way, this is the cover. Yeah, this is basically this is a clear nod to their first appearance back. I think it was like issue 70. I think it was the Red Avengers book. It's like, all right, girls, that finishes that male chauvinist pig. From now on, She-Hulk. For now, it's the She-Hulk and her Lady Liberators. Though the one seen here, this group is comprised of She-Hulk, Thundera, Black Widow, Storm, Invisible Woman, the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, Hellcat, Valkyrie, Tigra, Though there are others. Like, oh my gosh, there's a lot more to this. Like, a heck of a lot more. Yeah, we also appearance by Brother Voodoo. Also in the case of the Joe Fixit stuff, he basically first seen beating the crap out of Moon Knight, then eventually he decides to do other stuff. Now, basically, round one, it's basically about 4 different artists. And you have round 1, done by Art Adams. Round 2, Frank Cho. Round 3, Herb Temple. And we have On Underground by Andre Loeb, who does a backup. It's a small little backup feature in here. Yeah, basically, She-Hulk got tired of beating the crap, losing to Red Hulk. So basically, call for backup. Yes, call for backup by summoning a bunch of female superheroes. Yeah, first person she contacts Carol. She's busy. So, eventually, they have Valkyrie, Tigra. Oh, by the way, I think this is supposed to be Fury. I think this is done by. I don't think this is them because it might be. Might be Frank Cho, because look at Maria Hill. She is so ripped. Like, wow, they gave her freaking abs. And of course, they show Red Hulk beating the crap out of Iron Man, Thor, and of course, beating up She-Hulk. So you have these 3 ladies. By the way, oh my gosh, I get that She-Hulk is taller than Maria Hill, but apparently the way the artist draws Valkyrie and Thundera, they're basically taller than Maria Hill. Then you have a quick change scene. These 3 ladies just go on, basically beat up Red Hulk. Yep. Though, of course, they get back up eventually. At first, just these 3, She-Hulk, Valkyrie, and Thundera at first, and then they're joined by the rest of the ladies. Yep. Apparently, because they thought they were busy. Nope. They basically fight them. And then at one point, he fakes being dead, and then he takes Thundera and says, I want to offer you a job. She's like, really? Yeah, because you didn't try to kill, because you actually did seriously try to kill me. So I'll hire you. I was like, okay. This book is still pretty good. I give this book roughly a 9.5. It feels like a slight bit of a step down from the last trade, but this book is just so freaking good. Love it. Now, the next comic corner will basically be one basically will lead up to the very awesome 600 for Incredible Hulk. Yeah, basically with the next 2 trades for Jeff Loeb's run for Hulk. Yep. Excuse me. But you next video. Bye.